First and foremost, we would like to express our gratitude for attendance here today. We're really grateful to see your excitement in PUSDEC 2023 because without your contribution and enthusiasm, this event would not be properly organized as it is. And let us not forget to express our gratitude for the God Almighty Himself. Because of His blessing, we're able to attend in this very event. And I would also like to welcome Mrs. Fadia Suryani as the headmistress of SMA Negeri Yogyakarta, Mr. Nehan Evencio Adwijaya Christie as the head committee of PUSDEC 2023, and last but not least, our chief adjudicator, Ms. Nahdlatul Roshada, to the opening of PUSDEC 2023 technical meeting. Note that we will do all sorts of documentation throughout today's activities, including pictures and videos. Therefore, we ask for your permission. Thank you. Before we start the technical meeting today, I would like to suggest everyone in here to pray according to each other's belief so the technical meeting will run smoothly until the end. Pray begin. Pray end. We also want to thank our sponsors and media partners. Special mention to Al Buruj, Ayam Soharti, RWID, Bank BPD, and last but not least, to MKS Computer, as our sponsors that has been very generous for helping us making this event run smoothly. Now, for you almost have been waiting, let us cut to the case right away. I'm going to share with you the details of today's technical meeting rundown. First rundown is sing the national anthem Indonesia Raya. Second rundown is introduction on what is PUSDEC and a brief explanation of the background of our grand theme. Third, a welcome speech from Mr. Nehan Evencio Adwijaya Christie as the head committee of PUSDEC 2023 event. Fourth, a welcome speech from Mrs. Fadia Suryani as the headmistress of SMA Negeri Yogyakarta. Fifth, introduction to our chief adjudicator, Ms. Nahdlatul Roshada, followed by her welcome speech. Sixth, our main agenda, which is explaining about the technicalities. Seventh, Q&A session. And lastly, eighth, closing. Entering the first event, let's sing the national anthem Indonesia Raya. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up. Please have a seat. Before we go any further, for you who are curious about PUSDEC, let me explain a little about it. PUSDEC, short of Puspanegara Debate Competition, is an annual external event held by SMA Negeri Yogyakarta. It is an English-based debate competition as to discover the best debaters out there. To face the future that is all modern and full of competition, we are required to instill noble values in each person so that we are independent, intelligent, and wise in dealing with everything. The 2023 event takes the theme Emerging Economic Awareness to create a source of national strength to serve the national interests. We take this theme because Indonesia is having several problems, particularly in the realm of economics. Lately, economic problems are being widely discussed. One of them is recession. This term denotes a significant decline in overall economic activity in a specific region, marked by a contraction in GDP for 2 or more consecutive quarters. That's not the only problem that's happening. There are still many problems that we can encounter, with a wide access to a large sum of Indonesia's information, and yet, regrettably, the number of people who are aware of this is still very minimal. If the awareness of the society is still low, of course, this will greatly affect the state of Indonesia. Thus, 2023 aims to increase self-awareness from the community and find viable solutions to overcome these problems with the hope that they can become a source of collective strength for the state so the goals of Indonesia can be achieved. And that's it for the brief explanation about PUSDEC 2023 and its grand theme. Now, let us move on to our next agenda. We have Mr. Nehan to deliver his speech. Mr. Nehan, time and place is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First, I'd like to thank Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for giving us His blessing so that we can all hold this activity. Because of His mercy, we are able to gather here today to open Puspanegara Debate Competition 2023. I would also like to convey my warmest gratitude to all of PUSDEC 2023 committee for dedicating their time, energy, and continuous effort in taking care of this event. Thank you to our chief educator and also all of our educators for helping us in leading our debate competition. And last but not least, I'd like to thank all of PUSDEC's participants for providing time and giving your best enthusiasm in joining our event. Because without our valuable participants, we wouldn't be able to hold this competition. So, on behalf of PUSDEC 2003 committee, we truly hope this event can go well and smoothly. Without your support, we can't do so. We're humbly asking for your support so that we can run this event as well as possible. Thank you for your time and attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nehan, for the remarkable and lovely speech. Next, we will have another welcome speech for our headmistress, Mrs. Fadia Suryani. Time and place is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera buat kita semua. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Puji syukur kita panjatkan kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala karena atas segala nikmat dan rahmatnya. Pada hari ini kita bisa melaksanakan kegiatan PUSDEC. PUSDEC, Puspanegara Debate Competition, merupakan kegiatan rutin yang dilaksanakan oleh OSIS Bhinneka dan mahasiswa Puspanegara. Kegiatan ini akan dilaksanakan dari tanggal 21 sampai 23 Juli yang diikuti oleh tingkat SMA, SMK sederajat seluruh Indonesia. Pertama, kami dari SMA Negeri 5 Yogyakarta mengucapkan terima kasih atas semua pihak yang telah mendukung kegiatan ini dengan harapan kegiatan ini bisa berjalan dengan lancar. Kemudian kami mengucapkan terima kasih kepada para peserta yang telah mengikuti kegiatan debat English competition yang dilaksanakan oleh SMA Negeri 5 sehingga kalian akan menambahkan skill dalam debat berbahasa Inggris. Kemudian kami dari sekolah juga mengucapkan terima kasih kepada semua panitia yang telah bekerja dengan ikhlas, tuntas, dan penuh keberhasilan dengan harapan kegiatan ini bisa berjalan dengan lancar. Selamat berlomba, selamat mendapatkan hasil yang terbaik. Puspanegara, jaya, jaya, jaya. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thanks to our headmistress over her remarks. And now I would like for you all to meet our amazing and talented core adjudicator that would accompany us throughout our journey in this year's PUSDEC event, Miss Nahdlatul Roshada. She is one of the best debaters out there. Through her debating career, she has shown us on how capable she is of delivering such a meticulous speech with the smart brain she has. Not just that, she also has many experiences in being an adjudicator, and there's no need to doubt her credibility. Once again, let me welcome to you all, Miss Nahdlatul Roshada. Time and place is yours.
Okay. Hello. I'm assuming I'm audible. So greetings, teachers, staff members of SMA 5 Yogyakarta, staffs and committee of PUSDEC, and all participants of PUSDEC. My name is Nahdlatul Roshada, also referred to as Rosa, the core adjudicator of this competition. A little bit about me: I'm a third-year student in UGM, Faculty of Social and Political Science, studying international relations. Currently, I'm in South Korea for my exchange study, and with that in mind, I will be overseeing and judging tomorrow's competition from here, Seoul, South Korea as well. In this opening speech, I would like to address the work that we've completed thus far in organizing the competition. It has not been the easiest. Challenges arise, but I would like to thank the committee of these competitions and the staff for their resilience and effort in arranging this competition. I would like to also thank the school for giving me and the committee the chance to even make this competition happen in the first place. Lastly, I would like to thank and simultaneously welcome the participants who signed up for this competition. I thank you for your enthusiasm. I hope this competition will deliver everyone's expectations and will be memorable and good learning experience for all parties involved. Thank you, and yeah, let's get this competition started.
Many thanks to Ms. Nadatu for your speech. And now let us come to our main agenda to explain on the technicalities. Mr. Rehan, time and place is yours.
Okay, thank you for the time that has been given. Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this opportunity, I will take this time to explain to you about the technicalities of PUSDEC 2023. First, I would like to introduce you to our CA, which is Kak Nato Rosada, which has a lot of experiences in educating experiences, like in co-CA IREC 2022, CA Lomba Debat Bahasa Inggris Taruna Akmil HUT ke-65 Invited Educators, ALSA UI 2022, Unjaya Debate Competition 2022, LDBI Emerge 2022, and also a lot more others educating experience. She also have a lot of achievements like Docksbridge ESL quarterfinalist, second runner-up in IVET 2022, EFL Australs, ALSA Crash Board Competition, Debate APBN, Telkom Aces, and many more. She also has education in international relations at Gajah Mada University, starting from 2022 until present. She is now focusing on global political studies with Africa, Middle East, East Asia, and the United States as areas of interest. Next, I will share to you about the schedule of our debate competition and also our technical meeting. First, we have our technical meeting here, which will be held, which is going to be held on Friday in 21st July 2023, which is today, where we have our opening ceremony for 30 minutes. Then we're going to have our technical meeting for 60 minutes, our Q&A session for 20 minutes, and our closing for 10 minutes, which all takes place in the main room. Next, we have our competition day 1 in 23 July 2023, which we will start with our re-registration in the main room for 30 minutes, motion launch and roll call in the main room for 30 minutes, debate preliminary round 1 in our breakout rooms for 105 minutes. Then we will have another motion launch and roll call in the main room for 30 minutes, another debate preliminary round 2 in the breakout rooms for 105 minutes. Then we will have our first break of the day in the main room for 30 minutes. Then we will have our motion launch and roll call in the main room for 30 minutes. We have our third preliminary round debate in the breakout rooms for 105 minutes. Then we have our second break of the day in the main room for 30 minutes. Then we will have our last motion launch and roll call and our last debate for preliminary round 4. And then we will close the day with our breaking announcement and closing in the main room for 30 minutes. Then we will continue our competition day in the second day, which will take place in the 23rd of July 2023, which again we will start with re-registration for 30 minutes in the main room, motion launch and roll call for 30 minutes in the main room, our first debate of the day, which is pre-semifinal in the breakout rooms for 105 minutes. Then we will have our motion launch and roll call for 30 minutes in the main room. Then we will going to have our semifinals debate in the breakout rooms for 105 minutes. And we're going to have our first break of the day in the main room for 30 minutes. Then we're going to end the day with our last debate, which is the grand finals in the breakout room for 105 minutes with motion launch and roll call before that for 30 minutes. Then we're going to have our last break of the day in the main room for 45 minutes. And last but not least, we are going to have our award day and closing ceremony in the main room for 60 minutes. That will be it for our schedule for 3 days. And now I'm going to explain to you about our platforms that we're going to use in PUSDEC 2023. First, we have WhatsApp, TabbyCat, and Zoom Meeting. As for WhatsApp, we're mainly going to use it for a source of information during the debate competition. And then we're also going to have our educators' numbers that we're going to provide through WhatsApp. Next, we're going to have TabbyCat for our checking in, which will be done using the PUSDEC tab link that will be shared by the LO and will be followed by every individual once every day. Next, for the steps for checking in TabbyCat is first, of course, you will open the private URL from PUSDEC 2023. Then you can click on check in, and then you can make sure that you are checked in. And then last, you need to make sure that you don't click on the revoke check-in. And then for our last platform that we're going to use in PUSDEC 2023 is Zoom Meeting. In Zoom Meeting, we are going to use 2 main rooms, which is main room for debate announcement, motion launch, and also roll call. And for breakout rooms, we are going to use for motion preferences and debate rounds. That's it for our platforms in PUSDEC 2023. Next, I will explain to you about the mechanism of the competition. First, you are going to need to check into the tabby each morning before our motion launch and roll call. Next, we're going to have our roll call in the main room, and we're going to start our matchup. When we are starting our matchup, everyone will go into their breakout rooms with their teams and with your educators in every room. Then in our breakout room, we're going to start our session with our motion preference, which I will explain the technicalities after this. And we're going to start our case building as well. After case building, there will be two outcomes that can happen. First, if the round is silent, then you will go back to the main room and directly repeat the process, which is motion launch and roll call. And if the round is not silent, then you will have deliberation time from the educator, and you will have the announcement directly in your breakout room. And after that, you will go back to the main room and repeat the process from motion launch and roll call. Next, for the technicalities of the motion preference is, first you will be given 3 motions each round, and motion preference is done to determine which motion will be picked. Second, the LO of every meeting room will give you a template that looks like this with 3 arrows in the room chat. And then what you need to do is you need to input your motions based on the order listed, with the first one being the most preferred motion, the second one being the second most preferred motion, the third one which is least preferred motion or banned motion. Next, the example of motion preference is, let's say that which is this house would ban smoking, this house would ban nuclear energy, and this house would ban target parenting. What you should do is you input the number of those motions. So if I wanted to pick this house would ban nuclear energy, then I need to put 2 in the first place. And then if I preferred ban smoking to be the second, then I will put 1 in the second place, which the third motion will follow. Next, for the technicalities of case building is, time of case building will start after motion is selected for 30 minutes. And if a team's preferred motion takes more than 2 minutes, then the other team's motion preference will be used for that round of debate. Next, there will be no additional time for case building. If motion preference takes more than 2 minutes, time will be deducted from case building time. Participants must stay in the meeting room when case building with cameras on and microphones off. Next, this is a very important thing to remember. When case building using Google Docs, participants are obliged to send the link of the used Google Docs to the LO through Zoom private chat. This way, our LOs can make sure that you are not cheating while following our debate competition. And last but not least, a reminder will be given when the time reaches the 15, 10, and 5-minute marks before the case building time is over. Next, during the debate, participants must turn on their camera and microphones must be off at all times unless it is time to give your speech, and timekeeping will be done by the educator. However, it is advised for participants to keep track of their own time in case of a disconnection or other technical issues. As for POI technicalities, speakers are encouraged to announce their POI preference before speech, and other participants is obliged to respect their POI preference when giving a POI. POIs are only allowed after 1 minute and before 6 minutes of the main speech given by the first until third speaker. Last, no POIs are allowed to be offered or accepted during reply speeches. Last, as for the winner system, there will be only 1 chamber during the grand final for participants fighting for the first and second place. And as for the third place will be determined by the losing team on semi-final based on the speaker score. That's it from me. Thank you for listening and thank you for your time. Now I will open the question and answer session for 20 minutes. So to anyone who has questions, you may raise your hand and open your mic, or you may send your question through the chat box. Thank you. Once again, I would also like to remind to everyone here to re-register your team using the link that we sent in the group, in the PUSDEC 2020 group. Thank you. We have a question here from Naira. Hi, what if we're using, wait, I'm sorry. Is it allowed to change speakers orders throughout the rounds? For this question, for Miss Nadatul Roshada, can you help us to please answer this question?
Hello. Yeah, I think changing speaker order is fine so long as the team member doesn't change. I think biar jelas pakai bahasa Indonesia aja ya. Jadi kalau misalnya ada 3 speaker A, B, C, itu namanya A, B, C. Orangnya tetap sama, tapi misalnya yang di ronde 1 yang jadi pembicara ketiga, sekarang jadi pembicara kedua, eh, di ronde berikutnya, dan di ronde 3 nanti balik lagi ordernya kayak di awal, nggak apa-apa. But you have to notify the judge in your room perubahannya gimana. Nanti judge biasanya bakal minta speaker order list, kayak nama speaker 1, siapa yang jadi speaker 1, namanya siapa, menjadi speaker 2 siapa, dan lain sebagainya. Selain motion preference tuh kalian harus kasih dulu. Berubah boleh, tapi pesertanya harus tetap ya. Is that clear?
Yes, clear. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Our next question is, thank you, Kak Rosa, for answering that question. Next, we have another question from Naira, which is, hi, what if we're using paper for case building? Is there any specific procedure on that? If you are doing your case building using paper, then you may inform our LO in your respective room meeting. Then you can text us also your WhatsApp number. So then our LO can call you so that we can make sure that you are case building properly. Does that answer your question, Naira?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Our next question is, excuse me, is it allowed to use only one laptop for a team? Thank you. For this question, it is use one laptop for a team, but it will be way easier for you and for us to manage the debate competition when you are using one device for each person. Other for your then your phone. Does that answer?
Yes, crystal clear. Thank you.
Our next question is from through private chat. If the team is at the same place, is it okay to have one account on Zoom? Can you please specify what you mean by that question, please? Ninita Putri will be waiting. Thank you. Our next question is, excuse me, we have a question regarding a motion. You can just directly type on the chat what is the question. Thank you. Okay, from Nelson St. Louis. Hello, what do we use TabbyCat for again? And how long is the case building? So we're going to use the application, the website TabbyCat for doing our tabulating, which is to know who your team will match up against later in the debate competition. And as for how long the case building is, it would take 30 minutes for every team. Does that answer your question, Nelson St. Louis?
Yep, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Reminding for Stanley Nathanael, you may type your question right away in the chat, please. Okay, going back to the question from Ninita Putri, if the team is at the same place, is it okay to have one answer two? Again, it's the same answer with the laptop question. It will be way easier for your team and for us to operate the debating competition if you have one device for every person. That way it will be easier for us to manage how the debate goes later on. Does that answer your question, Nindita Putri?
Yeah, thank you.
And as for Stanley Nathanael, can you please specify your question more so that we can answer? Reminding you, to anyone who has not re-registered with our link, please please do so right away with the link that we set in our chat. Thank you. We have another question from Stanley Nathanael. For Econ 2 context slide reads, yes, example of people-based investments as education, healthcare, etc. Is this limited to social welfare programs, scholarship, etc., or does physical buildings like hospitals and schools count? For this question, I'm gonna welcome Kak Natur Roshada for her time to answer this question. Thank you.
Okay, hello. So actually, I think I saw this question, but I forgot to reply to it because, yeah, I think I forgot, like my schedule's been packed. But anyway, I hope you're okay with me answering it here right now. I think what motion two is trying to assess, instead of it just asking for, um, the specific definition, what's more important is the output of each investment. So say the definition is not blurry in the sense that the if the output of building a toll road is faster mobility, then it doesn't contribute to the human resources per se, because it just contributes to people being able to travel faster, but the human quality stays the same, right? So when we're talking about people-based investment, even though sometimes it refers to having to build something with, something physical with physical tangibility, say better health infrastructure to build better healthcare facilities, or better improving school facilities to build better human resource output. The determinant here, penentunya, is the result from building that. You see what I'm saying? Because if you just want to build non-people based investment, these are things that can be built and grandiose, but it doesn't necessarily like contribute to improving the human quality. Okay, so it's about the end output. It's how you should think of it. It doesn't matter if it involves physical, tangible facilities to be built or not. You get what I'm saying? Is that clear?
Yes, Kak, but I also have another question. I'm typing it out right now.
Oke, atau bisa di-unmute aja nggak apa-apa? Kayak, like you just speak it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Question for Econ 1. Federal Reserve itu imply the motion is playing in the US atau maksudnya itu kayak central bank in general?
Sebentar. Motion Econ 1 Federal Reserve Bailout Institution primarily. Okay. Jadi I think this case I took it from sistemnya yang the most popular, if I'm not mistaken, Federal Reserve Bailout itu is popularized in the US, right? That's where we hear the most common news from. But I think other countries, i.e., liberal democracy, country with liberal democratic systems, say we're talking about the European Union or even Australia or even some middle upper income countries, uh democracy like Indonesia, right? Maybe even like Singapore, we have a federal reserve, like our central bank all each has their own like equivalent of federal reserve, and they sometimes still are able to therefore like apply legislature different bailouts. So the case study, the most intuitive one is obviously the US, because US news is everywhere, because US is also the most powerful economy. But I think this case could be applied to countries non-exclusive to US with similar system, because the system just isn't applied to the US. So when you're looking for resources with regards to the material, if you want to refer to the US, go for it. If you want to refer to other countries with similar system, that a similar system to the US as a resource, also go for it. Is that sufficient?
Yes, thank you, Kak.
Okay, thank you once more for Kak Rosa for answering the given question. I would like to state that our Q&A session will be closed in 16:30. So if anyone else has a question, we are happy to answer them. Once again, I would like to remind everyone. Once again, I would like to remind everyone here that the Q&A session will be closed in 16:30. So if anyone has another question or something to ask, you are welcome to ask. And I would like to remind everyone that hasn't filled the re-registration form that we sent through the chat box. Please do so right away, because it is important for us to data your presence. Thank you. Question from Naira. Hi, sorry, one of my teammates is out of reach right now and I'm unable to get her data for the re-registration form. So is there a specific due time for the form? Re-registration form is supposed to be filled in before the technical meeting is over. But if your friend is still out of reach, then we have time for you until 5 p.m. today. Thank you. Does that answer your question? Once again, before it hits the 16:30 time mark, I would like to remind everyone that there is still one more chance to ask a question. And if you have something to ask, you may ask it right now. Check, check, check. Okay, because it has hit the 16:30 mark, I would like to say thank you to everyone, to the participants, also to Karosa, the CA, for attending our technical meeting here. It seems like we have finally reached the end of the event. We might have to say goodbye for now, but your real journey will begin tomorrow. Good luck, debaters, on your journey tomorrow. We really hope that you will find a fabulous and remarkable journey. We'll see you there tomorrow, and thank you for having to attend this meeting. We wish you all the best. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.